Hello everyone, happy Friday to you, Friday morning for the majority of you, Friday evening for me, such is the way of the world. We're on with a wee video today to chat about Celtic, of course, a wee bit of stuff in 67 Hail Hail to cover as well. John, how are you?
I'm good, Hamish. I'm in the centre of Storm Babette at the moment, so I'll do some live reporting on the flooding outside if you're up for it later.
I've kind of been oblivious to this one. Is it quite bad? Yeah.
It was pretty bad around my way, yeah. Lots of rain, lots of wind, but I'm fine. We're safe and we're ready to do a video, so I'm all good.
All good, right? As you can probably see from the title, Hamish says goodbye seems quite definitive. So
Quite ominous.
it is indeed. So let's
Especially
just
since
tackle that.
you've not told me anything about this, Hamish.
A shocker. That would be clickbait to end all clickbait. Yeah, so basically the story is that we'll be moving on from 67 Hail Hail, which we can obviously, feels weird to kind of say it out loud, but we can talk about it throughout this video, or certainly maybe just at the start. But yeah, the time has come. There's quite a few reasons probably for that we can get into. And obviously a few things to do with the channel as well that you want to talk about, John.
Yeah. There's plenty to chat about. Obviously, with your move to Australia, probably a few people knew this was on the cards down the line anyway. And you're off on your grand Australian adventures, and it's time to say goodbye to you on the channel. Unfortunately, we've all really appreciated you having you around. I know the audience has especially. It's off the back of you really that this channel has grown so much, and people will miss you when you're gone. So hopefully you keep in touch on social media and all that nonsense, and people can keep up with what your future plans are when you have future plans.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate you saying that. It's definitely been, a team effort in terms of the YouTube and all the contributions from, everyone that's been on. We did just want to do this final video just so I don't just go off without saying anything. And also I kind of wanted to just, speak about a couple of other things because, we have, I think you certainly will be joining me in this, John, received a lot of messages and comments from people, and it's been a bit of a challenge, I think, for both of us over the last wee period, because we've kind of not been able to say too much. I mean, if I said I'd had 100 tweets, I would be underestimating that, and yeah, it's been a bit of a tough period for the channel. It's no secret that we've gone from doing videos every day to not doing videos every day, and it's been quite a kind of frustrating period if I'm honest. Obviously out with both of our controls, and I do want to point that out. I would love to have been doing videos every day, and sadly that's not been possible. It's a kind of sad way in my mind to kind of bow out from the channel. But I know you want to make the point as well that the channel will be continuing after me, and if you don't like me very much, you'll probably even prefer it. I appreciate the comments that are coming in. If anyone has any kind of questions they want me to answer, I'm happy to just do that, because I feel as if it's been difficult getting kind of messages in and not really knowing what to say, because without going too into it, John, the truth has been we've not really known the kind of situation for a fair bit of it.
Yeah, it's been a bit higgledy-piggledy, shall we say. But the reality of it is that I'm going to still be at 67 Hail Hail. 67 Hail Hail's not going anywhere in terms of the website, in terms of the channel. I'm going to try and keep it going. I'm going to try and do something that's regular and people can count on, rather than do videos from now and again. So whether that means that we don't do a video for a while and then we come back and then I try and do something that has a fixed schedule, maybe something once a week would probably be the ideal way for doing that. We're definitely not going to be doing one video a day, or I certainly haven't anyway. So I think if I can get back to a reliable schedule for people that they can count on, that they know is going to be there at the same time every week, I think that's probably going to be the ideal scenario coming out of this. What that looks like quite at the moment, we're not 100% sure, but that is what's in my plans, and we're hoping to have plenty more good Celtic chat, plenty more guests and insight and lots of stuff, and hopefully if we can fit it into a weekly schedule, then it won't be too time consuming for myself, and we can keep this going and keep this kind of community going, keep the audience going, and keep interest in Celtic and talking about Celtic positively and constructively, and not always, and negative when it needs to be negative, but in a good in good faith, shall we say, rather than anything else. So hopefully we can keep that going.
Yeah, I mean, from chatting to people, out and about, the one thing that I don't think most people know about us, John, is that we do this full time. I think the majority of people, I could be wrong here, see this as, a kind of pastime for us and we do it on top of another job. No, we do this full time, both of us, and sometimes in those kind of things, we've got a website as well. Again, maybe some of you don't know that 67hailhail.com is even a thing. It's a brilliant website. John writes on it, I've been writing on it, we've got other writers as well. It's a great website, and I can say that now because I'm moving on. But sometimes the focus, certainly for the last few months, has had to be on the website, and obviously YouTube has kind of struggled as a result of that. But I just wanted to get it on record that it's down to neither of us. We've not lost interest in the YouTube, either of us. We want to keep this going. John is going to keep it going to some extent after we go, but there's not enough hours in the week really for to be writing on the website and doing YouTube videos every day. So that's kind of all I've got to say. I just wanted to say that because I totally get why people feel that way. Obviously, to people watching on, the channel goes from loads of videos to not many, and they're a bit kind of wondering why and wondering if we've lost interest. Genuinely, we both would, if we had our way, we'd be doing the same YouTube videos as before. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say, John. Anything else?
No, I'm fine. I'm not.
Yeah,
no, I'm all good.
GigPod as well is well worth a listen. If you feel you're missing any 67 Hail Hail stuff, the daily stuff, then GigPod does a couple of podcasts a week. Stevie from here is on there. But yeah, a few people asking what I'm going to do. Don't really know, to be honest, which is kind of worrying. I guess you can follow me online and see what I get up to. Without sounding like David Brent, I've got loads of offers, loads of options of things to do, so I'll be fine. I would love to return to some sort of Celtic job in the future. Would love to, because Celtic are my passion, and equally I'm quite looking forward to kind of separating my work from my passions as well. So yeah, I think that's us. How are you feeling about Celtic at the moment, John, generally? Celtic. I feel like we've not spoken in ages.
Feeling pretty good, Hamish. Feeling like we're well placed to kick on, and in some ways, we've got the 7-point advantage, and now it's time to push on the advantage that we've got on other clubs in the division for various reasons. Managers leaving elsewhere, new managers coming in. It always takes a bit of time for things to ramp up in other places. So for what I'm looking at, is this is a period for Celtic to really ram that home and show the progress that they've been making under Brendan Rodgers, which I think has been steady but has been there. I do think Celtic have been getting slowly better under Brendan Rodgers, and I think we've got some massive games. It's a massive week actually. We've got Tynecastle, Atletico Madrid, and then Easter Road. Like, that's as big as it gets in a season in terms of the points available, where we're going, and obviously that home Champions League match, which is a must win at this point if we've got any ambition of making third place in the group. Even it's a must win against Atletico. So it's a massive week for the club, and it's on the team and the manager to show that this improvement is happening and that we continue to pick up good results and see a good performance in Europe.
There's definitely been an improvement. We're not imagining that, are we, in recent weeks? I mean, I thought the Lazio performance was probably our best of the season so far, maybe other than Ibrox, although that was kind of maybe slightly more of a defensive one. I thought we were great against Lazio. Obviously, the result was gutting, and that was just a kind of lesson of how ruthless the UEFA Champions League can be. But that was a game we should have won. What was it, Kilmarnock after that? I thought we were great. I sat and watched that game here, and in the morning, by the way. I didn't watch it live because it was on at like 2 a.m, but I got up first thing, avoided the score and watched it, and I was genuinely entertained alongside my crunchy nut. It was a great performance, and I thought Luis Palma was looking good. I thought Real Hatate was kind of getting back to his best. I just think the rise of Liam Scales has been remarkable to the extent now, you know, that I think he should be playing alongside Carter Vickers on Sunday, and hopefully beyond that. I mean, I think Mike Narovsky may have something to say about that. I thought he looked good when he first came in, but I just think Liam Scales is brilliant. But the point I'm getting at is I think generally this Celtic team are starting to hit their stride. I just hope that the international break hasn't derailed that or halted that in any way. But I think you look at all the players, and the majority of them had pretty good breaks. You know, Kyogo scored. I think Palma was quite good. Some of the other players like McGregor got a rest, which is kind of unheard of for him. So, and I think, sorry.
No. I mean, as long as they stay injury free, I'm never that fussed about them going on an international break. It's like it can be good for them. It refreshes the players. They go to a different environment. They're not stuck at Lennoxtown every day. They're travelling. They're meeting up with people they've not seen for a while. They're getting exposed to other coaches and other methods. And as long as they come back fully healthy, and on time, then there's really no issue with them going away. So I think it'll be a positive for the squad. Rodgers, obviously, and the team that were left here probably had a few days off. They'll be well into their hard work for the weekend as well now. So I think it's exciting. Like, I'm pretty hopeful and for the season ahead. I know that Europe's not quite going the way we want, but it was always a tough ask. And then you just want to see improvement in the team a little bit, added, quality in January maybe, and then push on to in the second half of the season. But I'm feeling pretty good about Celtic right now. I don't really have any major concerns other than some of the avoidable off the pitch stuff that they keep the club and fans at loggerheads over stuff is never ideal. So hopefully that can be resolved in the near future.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to ask you about the general feeling, because you look at it and, we're 7 points clear of St Mirren and Rangers at the top. I mean, it's early days, but, you could not have dreamed of being in this position after, 8 or 9 games. We're already looking like real strong favourites to win a third title in a row. Yes, the League Cup was disappointing. The Champions League so far, has been a disappointment in terms of results. Performances, I think, have been half decent. But it's not been a bad start. I would say it's probably been considering that a new manager's come in after, Postecoglou last season, I would say it's been a pretty good start. I can't shake the feeling, though, that we're still waiting to properly feel it this season. And I don't know if that's just because there's other wee things going on at the club, the disappointing summer window, the off-field stuff that you kind of hinted at there. Maybe it is the fact that the Champions League just is still just not quite, there yet. But do you feel that as well, that we're still waiting on that either big breakthrough win or run of games where we really feel it?
Yeah, I think the team's yet to catch fire really too. I mean, there's been good performances, but we're not been totally blown away really this season so far, and I think maybe people are waiting on that. I think it's been a difficult year since the treble. Obviously the glory of the cup final, winning the treble, and then immediately Ange is almost taken away from us, and obviously everyone was wrapped up in that experience and what that was, and the whole rigmarole that went with it. And then we're waiting on, I think a lot of people were waiting on the club to show a bit more this summer, and I've spoken about this on the channel before, so I don't want to go too much over old ground, but I think we're just kind of waiting on the club to really show something this summer, and it just never quite happened for whatever reason. They might have long-term plans or whatever, and they're investing in this infrastructure at Barrowfield, etc. There is factors that you can't ignore, but at the same time, I think everyone was just waiting for us to show up a little bit more in that transfer market and really deliver on the promise of Brendan Rodgers coming back, and it's going to continue the big time. Whereas I think the reality of it was that Brendan Rodgers was coming back, and maybe the club were seeing this as the start of a new project rather than a continuation of an old one. At least that's
which is kind of frustrating, isn't it? I mean, it kind of should have been a continuation, no?
Yeah. No, I think it probably should have been a continuation. I think maybe that's what's maybe caught some people expectations versus reality kind of thing. I'm probably one of them, in the sense that I was probably expecting a little bit more from the club in terms of trying to have a more competitive team at a higher level, which I don't think is materialised. And I think that's probably the reason why not everyone is jumping for joy at everything at the moment, and it's going to take time now. But I'm actually saying all that. I'm still hopeful for the future because I think it will take, and I think Rodgers will get stuff right, and I think he will get the players that he wants in that squad over time. I think this is maybe a bit of a longer term thing for Rodgers than maybe we kind of expected, where we're thinking, oh, he might be here for 8 months and then go for a job down in England again. I think it's maybe a little bit more. We're going to get a couple of years out of him at least, I think. And so in that context, it might be okay if we kind of have a slower build. But it was certainly frustrating for this Champions League group that we couldn't do a little bit more in it. I know there's some games left, but we haven't been able to do as much in it as we would have thought. So we'll just need to wait and see. But I'm a believer in Rodgers and believer in the direction that's going in, which is good. So that makes me feel good, even if I'm not, singing from the rooftops, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I agree with a lot of that. I think for me, it's Europe is a big one. Europe is the big thing that's stopping me from being over the moon with Celtic at the moment. Because as I say, I think it's been a good start to the season. If we beat like Atletico on Wednesday night, I just think you'll see everything flip, and you'll see the feel good factor at the club, really returning. Not that it's kind of not been there, but I think there certainly has been an element of hangover from last season. But I think generally it's been, things are good. We could be, just welcoming in a new manager tomorrow, 7 points behind our rivals. Like we're in a really good position, and as I say, I think you look at almost every player in that kind of squad, and I think there's levels to go. I mean, I'm quite kind of excited about Lewis Palmer. Yes, maybe there's questions about his pace or lack of it, and I think that's pretty apparent. But I feel like if you kind of take him away from being a Jota replacement and view him as his own player, I think he's been excellent so far. Offered us some big moments. 2 goals. 3, but one of them was disallowed, but took that one brilliantly. And, I just think there's a lot more to come from players like, Hatate. I think O'Reilly's been brilliant this season. And I would just love us to really get that big win in Europe, because I just feel like that's what's kind of, around our neck at the moment. And we really just need that big win.
I mean, I'm looking forward to this week because I'm looking forward to Tynecastle. I'm looking forward to seeing players like Hatate at Tynecastle and see how up for it.
Did you get a ticket for Tynecastle? I heard there's loads of them going.
Yeah, I think that washed away with the flood. I'm looking forward to seeing Hatate on Sunday. I'm looking forward to seeing players like Maeda and Kyogo, and seeing them doing it on the road at Tynecastle, a difficult venue, limited support, but deliver. I think this is an opportunity to deliver another good Scottish statement win in the build up to playing Atletico on Wednesday, and then we'll just need to see from there. I think I'm dying for a big result in Europe. I think everyone is. I think that's true. That's what everyone is waiting on. I think whether the people admit it or whether it's a conscious thought in their head all the time, like it or not, I think that's what we're waiting on now. We're waiting for a big win in Europe, and it would be fantastic if it came as soon as this time next week.
Yeah, it'd be amazing. I mean, we've not been far away
maybe
in our
you're the
games.
jinx, Hamish. Maybe you need to leave town and then.
Oh, don't get me started. I've been up for 4 games in the middle of the night now. 2 of them Scotland, England they lost to, Spain they lost to, and our 2 Champions League games all lost. So
well, do us a favour and have a wee sleep in.
It's so frustrating because I'm getting up at 5 a.m. and seeing my team gubbed every time. But yeah, Brendan Rodgers manager of the month. Did you see that?
Yeah.
September. I think he was joined by 12 backroom team members.
Oh, I thought it was funny because you know how Ange used to bring out 1 or 2 people, and then I saw the photo and Brendan's just there with like everyone, like the half of Lennox down there in that photo. Which I think
Peter Houston was there. I didn't even know Peter Houston was at
Peter
Celtic.
I think he's an analysis scout at Celtic, or an opposition analysis scout. Of some degree. So good.
Yeah.
How are you feeling? Are you going to still be up half the night watching Celtic?
100%, man. Like 100%. Yeah, I mean, I've actually quite kind of enjoyed it so far in a funny way. Like it's quite nice bouncing out of your bed and watching a bit of Celtic first thing. The 3 o'clock games now.
A local CFC
yes.
yet?
Yeah, it was. And you put me right in it, and I think it was the Jock Stein Melbourne Celtic Supporters Club. It was at a pub called... Oh, I can't remember. It was a pub kind of near here in St Kilda, and they had a big event for the derby. I don't think they do it for every game, but like obviously the Champions League games are too early in the morning. But maybe on Sunday, for example, they would. But bumped into loads of folk from the channel there. Genuinely 4 or 5 people, albeit not all of them with Aussie accents. Some Scottish, some Irish, but people at the other side of the world that watch this channel. Like it never ceases to amaze me. When I went to Philadelphia, the amount of folk there that watched the channel, it kind of reminds you of how global a club Celtic are. And I mean, just to go back to the stuff at the start, I mean, the fans of this channel are incredible, like genuinely incredible. Yes, we get the odd Rangers fan. We don't seem to get as many of them as we did in our first season,
No,
John.
we had
It's
quite
funny
a lot of them
that
to begin with.
yeah, they've kind of dropped off, so I'll take that as a victory for us. But just genuinely, and I'm kind of seeing the comments here, just a brilliant, bunch of people, men, women, young people, old people, middle-aged people, all watch the channel, and I've really appreciated all the stuff, and being invited to different things. The Philly event, I mean, that was just an amazing experience to be able to do that, and the Ange book and all of these things. So it's been brilliant, and I'm going to miss this channel a lot, mate. Going to miss it.
Yeah, you're going to miss it, but I know Celtic was your life before this channel. Celtic was your life during the channel, and Celtic will be your life beyond the channel. So wherever Celtic are in the world, you'll find Hamish somewhere cheering them on. That's for sure.
Yes. Anything else you want to say, mate?
No, just thanks for your contributions. Thanks to the audience for sticking with us and keep coming back to the channel even when we're not been posting stuff. And like I say, hopefully if I can figure out some sort of regular schedule that I can stick to and that you can rely on, hopefully we can kind of rebuild a regular community and keep chatting about Celtic in the best way we see possible.
And maybe I'll be back one day. Never say never, eh? Never say never.
Never
only
say
if Celtic
never.
are
We're
winning.
going to keep in touch, and so as long as we keep in touch and I'm around on the channel, there's always a chance of a Hamish pop in.
We're linked in a group chat for people who don't know, and the really bad news is Stevie's in there as well. So still need to talk to him. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to say goodbye for now, and hopefully Celtic get a big win. On Sunday. I'm looking forward to that game, and obviously beyond that as well. I think for me personally speaking, the future is very bright for this team. I think we're yet to see the best of them, but when you're saying that and you're already 7 points clear at the top of the league, and I've only dropped 2 points this season, and things can get so much better, then it's a pretty good place to be. So yes, we'll catch you soon, I guess, or John certainly will. Speak to you then.
Catch you.